Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm setting a timer. I'm trying to. What? Let's see, we're almost there. Sheesh, I'm just trying to get a countdown timer. Where the hell is it? Sheesh. All right, there we go. 15 minutes, boom. All right, good morning. So, I'm at work. Yesterday I came here, but there was no school. I made a video. I didn't post it though, because I didn't. It was a good video. It's probably like the best video I ever made. But I didn't post it. Yeah. It was kind of like an X-Files. If you remember those. But yeah. So I'm listening to Quincy Jones' book called 12 Notes. I don't know, I it's on Audible, and I just kind of, it just appeared, whatever. So I downloaded it. And although I know he was behind Michael Jackson, that's all I really know about him, Michael Jackson. But there's much more to him. So right now, it's not so much an autobiography, it's just him giving life lessons, which is cool. And telling parts of his story, whatever. So 2 points, there's a lot. I don't think I'll post the other video, but if I do, it'll just be me talking about this book. But there's one scene where he talks about how he was breaking into a community center, because just to break in the community center. I used to do that, not community centers, but my friends and I used to like break into abandoned buildings. And nothing malicious, just whatever. So he used to do that, and him and his friends were doing that, and then as they're roaming around this building, he passes a room with a piano in it. And then it's like some cosmic force pulls him back, and then he goes into the room and he's all like, ba-doom, and the sound resonates, and then he would break into this community center to play with the piano. Then the person in charge of the community center took note that some random black kid is breaking and entering to play the piano, so she left the door open, and then he would just walk in and play the piano. Like, stuff like that. Here's my story. One day I decided, I think my friend at the time, my elementary friend, Tim, he was playing the trumpet. So I'm like, I want to play the trumpet. And I was like, Dad, can I play the trumpet? Like, why do you want to play the trumpet? And I said, because I don't know, I just want to play. He's like, how much is it? I think it was $1,000 or something like that, which is big money for us. But somehow he relented, and I got a trumpet. And, I'd have the trumpet, I'd go to chorus, or band thing, whatever. I was in the chorus too, but there was a time, like, in the beginning, maybe you don't know, but in the beginning of the band orchestra, everyone kind of plays this, they tune together, so it's like this swell of, like the horns, the strings, and the timony. I always remember, like, just sitting there, having that feeling. I would think it's the Quincy, that feeling like that. Wow, this is awesome. And then we were playing like stupid songs, the theme song to 90210 and shit like that. But again, I always loved when all the music was all just coming together. And yeah. And I remember walking around with my trumpet, and the corner store, the guy was like, play taps. I was like, I don't know how to play taps. I was just like, brah, brah, brah. And then I remember going to middle school, and of course I was in the band, and the first year I went to Jamaica for a funeral. I believe it's a funeral. So when I came back, I took off 2 weeks of the beginning of school to go to the funeral, and then I came back, and then I went to band. And the band teacher was all like, he's like all mean and shit. So I remember I left my trumpet outside. Now this is 1990 something, so the trumpet stayed outside for like a week. No one moved it. And then someone brought it inside and it was all like weathered because it rained and shit. So they returned it to me. I put it in the attic and it just stayed there. Never looked at it again. And then when I started buying clothes, we would walk to the mall and we'd pass, I think it was called Dave's Music Shop or some shit. So we pass it. So one day we went inside and I'm like, yo, will you buy this trumpet? They're like, yeah, bring it in. I brought it in. I think I got $50 for it. And I bought bootleg green, I don't even think they were real. So green Tommy Hilfiger pants. And this would be right around, I bought it at a store called Julius. You see how I remember? I bought it at a store called Julius on the top of the hill. And Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey, One Sweet Day, was the song that was being played. So if you could, but yeah, like that experience. So in Quincy's experience, he was nurtured and loved. In my experience, it's like this uphill fight. But yeah, it is what it is. But and then I like how he would say, well, you know, even though I was breaking and entering, I'm glad I did it. Like you can't. I mean, you could rewrite the past. Because I could, when I get my Grammy, I'm going to get the Grammy. Don't worry about that. Get one. I'll be like, well, if the teacher didn't do this, then I wouldn't have done that. So I'm happy. No. But I could rewrite shit and whatever. But it's crazy how music, or anything really, but how things come about. My mom, she took me to a computer camp. We never even had a computer. I don't think my mom even knew what a computer was outside of, but that really like planted seeds. But yeah, we gotta keep this short. Well, I mean, we've got 15 minutes, but we might end it a little shorter because I ain't got no internet in that building, my classroom, and my internet's shoddy. It takes forever to upload shit. But yo, so I don't know if I started with that, but I went on a date. Yeah, I think I said I was gonna. So I went on a date 2 days ago, and it didn't work out. It is what it is. But I think I found a screening process. So I said repeatedly to the date, like when we were talking, and then we went out for breakfast, I was like, yeah, I do music. I'm working on a Christmas album. I do music. And not one time did she say, can I hear it? No interest. Now, she ain't got to be like loving my music or what have you. But it was odd because in retrospect, because clearly she's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working on music. What are you going to do tomorrow? I'm going to work on music. And not once did she's like, nothing. So I if I'm talking like she said her dog this, her dog that, I'm like, what's your dog's name? What kind of dog is it? Because that's like normal. That's clearly something that's important to you. So that's going to be my new screening process. If I'm talking about shit and they don't like show any interest out. I mean, now Japan's an easy one. Like I used to live in Japan. Oh my gosh, Japan is so nice. What's it like to be in Japan? But that's an easy one. Or if I say my mom died and they say, oh, my condolences. That's what people have to say to make themselves, I don't know. But the music thing, yeah. So that's going to be a hard screen. Just be like, they ain't say nothing about it. I might even tell them, you are not qualified to even be in, I don't know if I'll be that. But, I mean, there's other things too. Like the work ethic. Like she was always like, she's like, you know, I was sleeping till like 1 o'clock. I was up at 5 o'clock working on shit. But anyway, but I think it's good, man. Well, it's good. I don't know if it's good or not. At least I know that I'm not gonna bend. Anyway, here's some good news. I don't know if it's gonna come to fruition, but it did spark another idea. It's like, so someone hit me up on Fiverr, corporate, and they're like, can you make a 30-minute freestyle looking at a profile of my colleagues? We're thinking about doing it in bulk, so it'll be about 30 to 40. Can you do it? And how much would you charge? And I'm like, what? Yes, I can do it. What do I charge? Because I'm looking at a profile. I mean, I could do it, but I don't know what to charge because I have no reference. I don't know other people doing this. None of my friends are doing this. I don't want to but what? And this is. So I emailed her back asking them some questions like, do you want different beats? Should it be connected, like just one long freestyle, but it's like separate, or should it be separate? And when do you need it by? She's like, I need it by tomorrow. I could do that too, but I would have to call off from work and then compensate for me not getting paid there and then get to work. I don't know if I could. I guess I could. You'd be amazed. But that is exciting, man. That's like, so you guys are the first people to hear it. I'll let you know how that goes. I'm thinking I should like rewrite my my profile or make I don't know how to, because when I first started doing Fiverr, it was around this time I started. Or I made the account in September and then it started picking up, and then between like October 28th to like December 20th or whatever, I started getting a lot of things. Can you make a song for my wife? Can you do a battle as gifts? One person, I thought it was a guy. He's like, can you make a song? And he gave me the thing, and it's just like, yeah, I know that we know each other and you left, but I really care for you. And I'm like, wow. I'm not judging. Maybe this will be the thing to push over and say, oh, I love you. But it turned out to be two females in different countries. But she liked my job so much, she rehired me to do another one. And these things are really, I like doing them. They're fun. Like, for me to add my voice to your project, to your soul, to your whatever. And so yeah, I think but I don't know. It's like uncharted territory. It's not like I could go to anyone and be like, so what do you think? Because no one knows. You know, they're on a different business model. Or you make CDs and you put them on. People don't make CDs. Well, some people want them. I don't know, but different way of business model. But if there's anyone, because there's like I know the number doesn't really mean anything, but there's like 10,000 people. I think I don't even know. I don't even look at that number. But there's a lot of people subscribed to the channel. So one of those people is in the industry where they could guide me. Back to Quincy Jones, he was talking about how when he was on tour, and and it's crazy because he was on tour with the people who later would go into Louis Armstrong's band and Duke Ellington's band, because they just kind of, so I know the names. Like it'd be like, I don't know if we have the equivalent in hip hop. I guess the Fugees. It'd be like, you know, the Fugees, and then you see Wyclef is doing a song with Shakira, and then if you listen, it's like Shakira, and then you're like, but he did the same song, or he was also in the beginning of Uptown Baby for the Crown Baby, whatever. It makes you wonder what's his connection, because they got sued. He made it. So did he get sued? Doesn't seem like he got sued. It seemed like they got sued. And then he took the same sample and flipped it to have it for Shakira, and I didn't hear nothing about Shakira. Although she got sued. I think I heard something about her not taxes, paying money, blah, blah, blah. But you start to hear the names or whatever. So I wasn't born and I didn't listen to jazz music growing up. But now I'm hearing the names Lionel, Thelonious, Bird. It's like, I know that person. And I listen to their audiobooks and I kind of know their story. So one of the guys, he's like, yo, let me spit some game to you, son. Or he said, Cat, come here, Cat, let me speak some game. And he was telling him some advice. And, advice from older people is kind of a two-edged sword, because they might know what they know, but it may no longer be relevant. Like, listen, when you see white people, you have to put your head down, because, and that might have been the thing on some Emmett Till era, but now it's not that way. But they might be saying that with authority, like, and now you got to just kind of listen to them. All right, so we hit the 15-minute mark. It says done, but I ain't done. But like, you got to listen. Like, when my dad's talking to me, he's like, when you write a check, you got to do this, this, this. And I'm like, no, you don't. And one time I softly said, he's like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yes, you have to. I'm like, no, not really. Because when I cash my check, I take my check, I go to the bank, don't even fill it. I just hand her the check, give her my debit card. Boom. She's like, do you want cash? I was like, I'll take $20 cash. My dad's sitting there writing up checks, putting in numbers, putting in dates, Now, yeah, there might have been a time when that wasn't a system, but, things are... And then the cash checks, he physically goes down there. Boom, boom, boom. But I get direct deposit, so I don't worry about that. But you could take a picture of your thing. You could deposit it in the ATM. You can... I guess those are the only ways to do it. Take it to the place. Direct deposit. Take a picture. But yeah, like, things have changed. But anyway, so the advice that he got, which if I would have heard it before I went to Japan, maybe things would have been a little different. He said, when you go to different countries, you should learn the language. I never heard any black people telling me to learn the language. It was always people who would not. Like, where I'm from, no one spoke multiple. The only languages that were heard from black people were patois, which is not a language, it's a dialect, but they, Jamaicans treat like it's a language, whatever. But I never had this feeling that why would I learn any other languages? But he's saying the guy was telling Quincy that when you go to different countries, when you tour, you should learn the language, just little bits and pieces. Eat the food, and that will bring you to the music. And it makes sense, So when you're somewhere, you could say, oh, I went to, blah, 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 blah. You could say it. And then... Now, I managed to find the music in Japan. I just went. But again, time shifted. I just got online, said, music. The list came up, and I emailed or went to the place, and boom. That's kind of how I did my thing. So things change. And now with Google, like, if you went to Japan now, with Google in hand, you could probably make more connections, because they got their Google, you got their Google. It might be funny, But yeah, man, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. Use what you can use, but show respect. Now, it's hard if people are spitting in your face. I met a guy in Japan, black guy, military guy. I think I said this story before, but this is gonna be the last story. Go to work. But military guy, I'm at his house. He makes music like 808 Mafia kind of sounding. And it was dope. He knew how to mix shit. He had whatever. I come up in there and he's just like yelling. He's drunk. And then we freestyle. And then he's like, so what the fuck you gonna do, man? Because he made a proposal. You gonna be on my team or you're not? He didn't give me, why don't you think about it? He's just straight on some Suge Knight. So you gonna fucking join the team. And I was like, whoa, calm the hell. And someone brought me there. I'm like, it's time for us to go. But the whole time he was trying to fuck her. He's like, hey, why don't you come up here, baby? So I'm downstairs in the living room, and they're upstairs. And then later she told me, like, I don't know why he was trying to talk to me. He got a wife. And I'm like, you went to some random, and they knew each other. But you went to some random, it's not random, but you went to this guy's house after he's been drunk, talking about, I don't know why he was. So needless to say, I didn't talk to her. I did talk to her for a little bit until another incident happened. Actually, it all falls in. So she introduced me to this Japanese guy who does music in Japan. He does game music. He was in the know. He's been to New York. He met the people. He got records. And I was trying to put him on to the Frank Duke model of making music, sample packs. And this guy's like, nope, nobody would do that. Nope, that doesn't make any sense. And she's like, nope, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, Frank Duke is a real person and he is killing it. He's like that guy. Like, nope. And I'm pulling up websites. And like, even to this day, a lot of the sample packs use Japanese to make it look all cool. Well, imagine if it was made in Japan. It would look super cool, I believe. Can't prove it. I mean, this guy had connections. He had a trumpet player. Guy came with his trumpet, but he was always drunk. He'd be sitting there, and then he would fall on the ground like this character. But then when it's time to get up on stage, he'd be like... But again, I just couldn't deal with that. So I just walked out. He started to email me. I just ignored him, and now I'm back in America. But it's like weird. Anyway, I was with 15 minutes, 5 minutes over. I'm gonna post this, and I'll talk to you guys later. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on what should I charge for a 30-second to 40-second freestyle. Now here's a problem with that. You might say I would charge $8 million, but would you pay for it? You could say whatever number, but what would you realistically pay for, or your friend? That's the price range I'm going for. Because if you wouldn't do it, then it doesn't really matter. Anyway. All right. Thank you for listening. Time for me to go to work. I'm going to go there with a positiveness. I'm going to treat this bullshit. I came back from... All right. Peace. Private.